Please be sure to use supporter creator code Justicul when buying things in the item shop. I will give a shout out to someone who can prove they bought something with it in my next video. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Yo, what is happening, boys and girls? It's me, Justicul again, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, before we begin, I want to announce that we will be holding a weekly tournament every Friday at 7 PM CET, where you can win 1,000 V-Bucks. This tournament will be held in Discord, so be sure to join by clicking the link in the description. Now, without further ado, enjoy the video. Now, what you are seeing right here is my building and editing on my slow sensitivity of 10x and Y at 500 dpi. And as you can see, it isn't great. I always mess up a lot of my edits and my building is neither smooth nor fast. The only good thing about my gameplay has always been my aim. Now, I did improve my editing and box fighting before this video in the 8-hour arena video, but I always had the feeling that I could do way better, especially with building. I panic build a lot and I never think about the next move, which ends up in me choking my builds and losing the fight. I have always been too lazy to practice in creative, and don't even get me started on high ground retakes. I literally only knew one retake, and that was the one I used about 60 times in the 1v1 with Young Chip 3 months ago. And to be honest, even that one wasn't that great. So I went back to watching videos of my favorite YouTubers where they build in ways I never could. That is when I really started to enjoy MrSavage's gameplay. His building and 90s are lightning fast, his editing plays are literally out of this world and impossible to keep up with, and he also hits insane flick shots. Now, his sensitivity is what really made his gameplay entertaining for me. He rocks 1450 dpi with 0.81x and Y sensitivity. That is considered absurdly high sensitivity, but he still hits most of his shots. I was completely fascinated by this, so I decided to try it out for a week to see if I would improve. I changed my sensitivity to his exact one, I warmed up my wrist, and loaded up a creative game to get some practice in. It was time to get cracked at building. Now, when I loaded into the game, I instantly remembered that I literally can't do anything. So I started off with some simple side jumps, and this actually went pretty well. It only took me like 15 minutes to get it down consistently, and I felt really proud of myself, because this was already a huge achievement. Remember, I was a huge bot when it came to creative and side jumping in general. Then I combined it with a Twifo cone, and I even started to experiment with a basic high ground retake. I ultimately could combine it into a basic high ground retake I learned from MrSavageM. Thank you, Papa Jarian. It was a very basic and probably also very predictable high ground retake, but it at least was something. I finally knew how to do my first high ground retake, and it was all thanks to my new sensitivity. I really started to enjoy creative and practicing my retakes in it. I got better and better at various high ground retakes, and it only took me a few hours to accomplish it. I maybe should have practiced it earlier, but the high sensitivity also played a huge role in the sudden success of these retakes. After that, I also practiced my side jumps a lot, since I think they are extremely useful in public games. I never really took the time for this either, but nailing them time after time felt extremely satisfying. I also focused really hard on improving the speed of my 90s, since I wanted to not only take high ground more in 1v1s, but also in arena games and pubs. High ground is key to winning more fights. I even pulled off a nice small free build for all the creative warriors that are watching. I hope you're proud of me. Now I was done with the solo practice and I followed it up with some quick 1v1s against my good friend Hitcho. He is the definition of a creative warrior and I knew it would be great practice. However, he did play on 60 FPS to give me a better fight so I could improve more. This is what happened. I began to see massive improvements with more accurate flick shots and way faster edits than before. I knew that I was ready to get into my first public game. My building, editing and aim felt great and I was ready to win the game. In this game I did really well and my whole gameplay and movement felt very smooth and fast. I was still hitting my shotgun shots and I even hit a ton of snipes, while my scope sensitivity was on 0.950. I noticed that it still was really weird for me to use wrist aim, but I actually adapted fairly quickly. It became obvious that I adapted faster to a new sensitivity than new keybinds, which could be positive or negative, but I was happy. My building and editing was a lot better and even though my aim wasn't consistently good yet, I knew it would come back with a lot more training and playing games. The game felt a lot more fast paced and it was actually really fun to play this way. I knew that with 6 more days ahead I would become even better. Ultimately, without showing any of the bots I killed, I won the game with 12 eliminations, which I was really content with. Now of course you want to know how the rest of the week went. Let me show you. My flick shots were starting to get more consistent throughout the week. And overall I just got better and better the more games I played. Building and editing became a lot easier and quicker for me and my aim was steadily going back to what it used to be. Flick shots were easier to hit, but normal AR tracking had proven to be quite difficult on this sensitivity, as expected. I might play some Kovacs next week to speed up the process. However, this is a tip for everyone. Your aim will improve the fastest way possible by just playing games. Nothing is better than just playing the actual game with the guns, bloom and all the mechanics that make Fortnite. Because even though I know that Kovacs helps, playing pub games has always helped me more. But that is just my personal preference. All in all, I'm really happy that I got inspired by MrSavage and made this video. Playing on this sensitivity was a joke for content at first, but my building and editing has become so good in comparison to before this video that I might just stay on it. And if you are still not convinced of my progress, wait until you see these next clips from the end of the week. Now, would I recommend this sensitivity? Personally, yes. If you're like me and your aim adapts fast, then go for it. High sense with great aim will always be a huge benefit. If you're not like me, then maybe experiment with your sensitivity if you feel like your building is pretty slow. You might be on a sensitivity that is too low for you. At the end of the day, it is all personal preference. Now with that conclusion out of the way, it is time to end the video. If you enjoyed it, then please be sure to leave a like on the video and of course consider subscribing. That would be immensely appreciated as always. Apart from that, have an amazing day and I will see you all in the next video.